Kyler Murray?
Well, this is kind of a weird week to talk about Kyler Murray, considering that Colt McCoy just had a win and had a excellent performance. Unfortunately, you guys can see my my banner behind me, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of Kyler. I think he's a great player. I don't know if he's in my top 3 right now. He's definitely banged up. Now Hopkins is hurt too. But the thing is, the big way that he wins it, he's going to put up crazy numbers. He's a great player. He's I think he is still an underrated quarterback in the NFL. I have him higher than most people do. But if they end up with the 1 seed, I think there's a very good chance. Like, I think that's how he wins it. If he has the 1 seed, and they could right now. They have a great record. If he comes back next week, they have a chance to keep busting out wins. So I don't know. I think he has one of the better chances. I'd probably put him at 4, but like, he definitely has a chance. That's the thing about this year's award, is like so many guys are in the mix because we're seeing so many great quarterback performances.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question. So is Kyler Murray going to be a guy that people look at and look at the roster that's around him? Because even though we've talked about it before, it's not an amazing roster. Like, it's a good roster. They've got a lot of great players on that team, but there also is a lot of holes. But because of the high name recognition of their roster, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Chandler Jones, even now they have Zach Ertz, who, like, AJ Green, Zach Ertz, not the players that they used to be. JJ Watt, I believe, is out for the season. But, Chandler Jones on defense, Isaiah Simmons on defense, even though he's not an amazing player by any means, big high-profile name. Budda Baker, great player. So, like, do you think that he gets hurt by him having these really high-profile names next to him, even though he's still performing with, Hopkins is out this week, it's Christian Kirk, it's Rondale Moore. Like, do you think that he gets hurt a little bit? I don't think he gets hurt nearly as much as like Brady does with playing with Evans and AB and Chris Godwin. But how much does the rest of that team factor in with Kyler Murray and looking at the MVP award? Because I know a lot of people love DeAndre Hopkins, think he's the best receiver in the NFL. I don't think he is, but obviously a great player, a great wide receiver, easily top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. So, like, what do you think about the team, and how does this team help or hurt his case for the MVP?
Oh, it helps him so much. And like you said, the name recognition of some of those players, AJ Green, Zach Ertz, I think those are that's great examples. James Conner as well. He leads the league in touchdowns right now. So got to credit James Conner himself. But also, like, you look at Zach Ertz, AJ Green, and you have DeAndre Hopkins, you're like, he has 3 superstars. If you're not, like, if you're more of a little bit of a common fan, like, you're not, like, you haven't really been like watching like some of these guys and like recognizing their decline. And it's not like they're bad players or anything. AJ Green did have a bad moment in the Packers game, but like, he's had a great year this year. Not prime AJ Green. Same thing with Ertz. Ertz, I think, has actually had a better year than he's had in his last couple. I remember, it was either last year or the year before, where it was like, man, like, is Ertz done? And he's definitely not showing that he's not done. It seems like he's going to play for at least a couple more years. I mean, definitely had like a second win to his career, which is awesome for both of them. And we'll see how long that kind of lasts for them. But no, I mean, the offense is about Kyler. Kyler makes it happen. The amount of times I don't think they have a good offensive line. I think it's a little better than years past, but the amount of times that he has to escape and do something just insane, and that's how they win the game, because of him, because of their prolific offense and him really like making the magic happen there. He's one of the quarterbacks that I think makes their offense like tick. That's what I call it. Like, you just make it tick, you make it work more than any other player in the league. So he's not more, but he's one of the guys that does it like at such a higher rate. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely think that he should be credited, but it's kind of hard when you see those names around him.
Yeah, and something that I always think about with guys like Kyler Murray, we'll talk about Lamar Jackson in a second. Go back to college. You look at the Heisman Award in college football, and something that's always brought up when guys are playing in the middle of the season, they say that's the Heisman moment, right? They make a great play. In the NFL, same thing happens. People don't say like, oh, wow, that's the MVP moment. But there's MVP moments. How much do like these crazy plays and highlights that these guys make? Because let's be honest, Kyler's a flashy player. He makes a lot of really great plays. He's had a couple of plays already that are like him running around in the backfield, dodging like 3-4 tacklers, making some crazy throw to a receiver down the field, either scoring or not, or like getting the first down on a third down. Like a lot of crazy plays like that. We don't see Brady doing that. You know, Brady's dropping back and he's throwing great throws, but Kyler Murray's being very flashy and he's being put on the highlight films. He's in the top 10s for all these highlights, Sports Center and, top 10 plays of the week and all those things. How much does like being a flashy player, do you think that helps with the MVP? Because like guys like Stafford and Brady right now, they're putting up fantastic numbers, but Kyler Murray is just so, and Josh Allen, who we just talked about, another guy that makes a lot of flashy plays. Is being a flashy player, does that help you win the MVP? Or like, I feel like it gives you a big boost for the MVP award.
I think a bigger thing is more about like when you have like your best performances, like the timing of them. If you go in, it's like, man, this guy had 4 of the greatest games ever, and he has a good season. His MVP like chances become a lot higher if all those games are on Sunday Night Football. Like and I think that's why, for instance, like like when like young quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes comes into the league, and everyone goes like, okay, this guy's going to be a very, very special player. You see him on primetime all the time because of all of those moments that he has, and to kind of like build that legacy with that player. Like that's what the league tries to do. So you have to like earn those performances, and like unless you have like some, you're a young guy and your team's not that good, and you just have them on like Thursday Night Football or something. But you're going to see some of these Cardinals games, I think, flex in the prime time. I think that the Packers game probably hurts just their chances a little bit more. Like he didn't have his best game. But if he starts having those, I think it's more about the moments than like the highlights. The highlights don't hurt. Like definitely doesn't hurt when you have some sweet plays. But I think it's more about the timing of when you have your best performances of the year.
I think that's fair. I mean, that's just a massive thing is the way, like, honestly, MVP is kind of decided before the season starts and who gets the good primetime games and things like that to actually build up those massive moments. I mean, we got to see Brady taking on Belichick and leading that game-winning drive in primetime football. We got to see Brady against the Cowboys in primetime football. Like we get to see a lot of these Josh Allen against the Chiefs in primetime football, putting on a monster performance. So I think that definitely plays a factor into it.